What's up, folks? It's Andrew Hobner from No Cap Space WBB. Hope everybody is doing well this fine Tuesday. Don't worry, the reason I'm here is not for anything bad. Ball Up Top, a WBB podcast, is going to be hitting your inboxes tomorrow, so do not worry. But in the meantime, we couldn't leave you without a little bit of content. So I want to talk about something that is not WNBA related. It is actually international basketball related because, folks, we might have one of the greatest Team USA guard rotations in international play that we have seen in the last 5-6 years. Let me explain. But first, want to make sure we shout out our partners at Home Field. Home Field's got great gear, great apparel, primarily college-based. Use code NOCAP15 to get 15% off your first order. The gear is great. The merch is phenomenal. The material is lovely. My wife loves it. And if that is good enough for you at home to know that your wife might love it too, that should be reason enough to get some merch for that person that is in your life. Now, let's talk about the FIBA Americup. I know many people might not know about what the Americup is. It is an international competition that is a continental competition. So it's the United States, Canada, Mexico, Central American countries, the South American countries. The winner goes on to the FIBA World Cup. The top 6 teams enter the qualifying tournament for the FIBA World Cup. And then, of course, the World Cup is, outside of the Olympics in the off years, the biggest international competition for any team in the world. So with that in mind, Team USA made their announcements of who is going to be on their roster. That came out late last week. So let's pull that up real quick and show you exactly who is going to be representing Team USA in Santiago, Chile, starting in just a couple of weeks. So this group came out. For those of you that follow us, that are subscribed to us, make sure you do, by the way. We're just 44 subscribers off of 4,000. So smash that subscribe button. Invite someone to hit the subscribe button. Hit a like, hit a comment. We love to see it because we want to get you up on game when we talk about basketball, make you a better women's basketball fan in the process so you know ball. So let's talk about this 2025 Team USA Americup matchup. We were down there. I was down there in Colorado Springs for trials. You can find all that work on nocapspacewbb.com. A day after I left trials, the roster came out, and this is what we have. Reagan Beers, Michaela Blakes, Madison Booker, Adi Crooks, Joyce Edwards, Hannah Hidalgo, Flau'jae Johnson, Gianna Neepkins, Olivia Miles, Kennedy Smith, Hannah Stolke, and Grace Van Sluten. So let's break this down player by player to begin. So your front court here is going to be Reagan Beers, 6'4" player, plays for the University of Oklahoma right now, All-American, double-double machine. Madison Booker, the SEC player of the year, who is at the University of Texas right now. Adi Crooks, who many may know, she plays for Iowa State and was an incredible freshman phenom there. Cyclones didn't have as great of a season this year, but I think she's going to come back with a vengeance. Joyce Edwards, many know, one of the top players in the 2024 recruiting class. Excellent freshman, plays for South Carolina. And then the final big, I guess you could call it, in this group, Hannah Stolke. Although what I will say, Hannah Stolke in the trials was used as much more of a traditional wing. When you see her at Iowa, she was used, especially for those that remember her running the floor with Caitlin Clark in 2024, more of a rim runner kind of player. It was really interesting to see in Americup trials her being used as a little bit more of a wing, which is what I think her traditional WNBA position is going to be. She's not going to be a 4 at the higher level. If anything, I think they're going to play her at the 3 when she gets there. And then Grace Van Sluten, who I would also classify as a wing. I don't think I would classify her as a front court player. In a lot of ways, reminds me of Satu Sabali. Tall, long, can score at multiple levels, has absolutely no body control whatsoever, but I'm still holding out hope that we'll get there. Just a really high ceiling player, really high ceiling player. But what I wanted to talk about, and a reason I felt compelled to jump on the YouTube and chat about this, is the guard rotation of this team might be the best Americup guard rotation we've ever seen from Team USA. And to be completely honest, when you factor in Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers on the senior team levels as we go, I know that, there's also some other good WNBA guard talent out there in the form of Sabrina Ionescu. Alicia Gray is having a career season right now. Kalia Copper's out there. Skylar Diggins is out there. I get that. However, factor in Caitlin and Paige with this group. this is a golden generation of guards that we are seeing in American women's basketball right now. And you hear that term a lot in soccer, golden generation. Effectively, it is just used as a shorthand to describe a uniquely gifted generation of players that are capable of winning you multiple international competitions, some of the best groupings we've ever seen. And this to me is one of the best guard groupings I've seen. The duo that I watched at trials was Michaela Blakes and Flau'jae Johnson. And for those of you that have seen the two of them play in the SEC, Blakes is already tied for the NCAA single game scoring record. She did that at Vanderbilt this year. She had 250 pieces this year. And for those that have watched Flau'jae Johnson play, she's just incredible on both sides of the ball. Watching her at trials, I was totally convinced in her as a WNBA prospect. I think she is going to step into the next level and be extremely good extremely quickly. Those two already are probably two of the most exciting guards and one of the more exciting guard tandems I watched down there. And then you look at Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles, which is funny considering all of the beef between them that happened in the aftermath. I have been told by sources that were, in the vicinity when that happened, that in the time since it has been squashed between Hannah and Olivia. That was categorized to me as a disagreement and misunderstanding. And now that they're both back on the floor, a lot of the drama has kind of subsided. I would assume it kind of falls into that category of time healing all wounds. But I'm also very interested to see if Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles are actually going to share a backcourt again with Team USA this year. And then you add in Kennedy Smith from USC, who is arguably one of the best on-ball defenders already in college basketball, and Gianna Neepkins, who is one of the most coveted transfers in the portal cycle this season. She left Utah and had two choices really between UCLA and South Carolina. She ended up choosing UCLA. Now, when you consider the 2023 FIBA Americup Team USA, I want you to just look at how much different this group was relative to the group that we have this season. So let me pull this up real quick for you because it is pretty remarkable how much the game has advanced and how much guard talent has increased in this sport when you consider what the 2023 crew was. Now, 2023 in the Americup, Team USA lost. They actually ended up in with a silver medal. They lost to Brazil. Camila Cardoso had 20 points, 11 rebounds in that matchup. But I mean, you look at this group, right? Raven Johnson, Jewel Spear, Layla Filia, Chance Gray, Deja Kelly, Charisma Osborne, Abby Sue. Good group. Not Flau'jae Johnson, Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, Michaela Blakes, Gianna Neepkins, Kennedy Smith. It's just not close in that respect. And we can continue to go back into past seasons and you'll be able to look at just how much different the rosters are and how much more talent top to bottom the rosters are. The last one I'll do real quick for you is 2021. When you look at what that Americup roster was, and that Americup roster, Destiny Henderson, Ashley Owusu, Veronica Burton, who people now know plays for the Golden State Valkyries, Ja'Kiah Brown Turner, Grace Berger, Haley Jones, Diamond Miller, Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard, obviously the most talented person of the bunch in there. But I think what is just to me so impressive is how much better the guards are getting in the league and in women's basketball in general. The WNBA is having a guard revolution right now with Caitlin Clark, with Paige Beckers. Tahina Paopao is a player that comes out in the second round and is a massively important player for the Atlanta Dream at this point in the year. JC Sheldon is a starter on the Connecticut Sun and was a starter last year in spurts too for the Dallas Wings. Sarah Ashley Barker is in the mix in Los Angeles. Sonia, I don't even know how I forgot Sonia Citron, who's in the Rookie of the Year race right now. And that's before you get into Georgia Amore, who is hurt. There's just so much guard talent and even more guard talent coming up in the league right now through the college ranks and into the WNBA that this might be a golden generation for Team USA guards. I really do believe that. This might be the best grouping of guards and best run of guards that the Americans have had really since the early 2000s when we're talking like Suber, DT, and the group that came along with them. Shamika Holdsclaw was a little bit earlier. And it just is really fun to watch. And that's why this Americup is going to be cool to watch too, because you're not really going to be able to see many of these combinations maybe until the WNBA, if ever. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I want to watch Flau'jae Johnson and Michaela Blakes play together on the same road in the same rotation. I want to see a Flau'jae Reagan Beers pick and roll, which I watched quite a bit in Colorado Springs. And although the timing wasn't there just yet because they had only practiced with each other for about a day and a half, it was there. It was very clearly there. Joyce Edwards on 3 different levels. This is a stacked US team. But I will say, I think the backcourt is really where Team USA shines. And that is something that we haven't had with Team USA in quite a while. The strength of the Americans internationally has been in the front court. It's been Asia Wilson. It's been Brianna Stewart. In that 2023 Americup, it was Lauren Betts. And we are starting to see a transition to star level forwards. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Sarah Strong exists, right, at UConn. But I think the balance of power and interest in the league and in women's basketball is shifting back toward the guards, which is going to be really fun because a lot of them are just so electric. Let's break down a little bit of what else there is to watch, because there are some other cool things I want to share with people here in regards to what the Americup is going to be. Brazil is the team that I want people to pay a lot of attention to if you can. Camila Cardoso, obviously, taking some time away from the Chicago Sky, which frankly might be good for her, given the team isn't great. Her minutes have been weird. She's gotten criticism from me too on Ball Up Top about the waxing and waning energy that she sometimes plays with on the floor. So this might be the step away that she needs to really kind of rediscover the love, the happiness, the dominance that she possesses as a player. She'll be pairing with Damiris Dantas, who's taken a break from the Indiana Fever and is going to be with Team Brazil. I'm curious about who Indiana brings on for a hardship contract with Dantas gone. And I would assume that Dantas is probably going to be gone for at least a couple of weeks, because I think Brazil is going to be to the semifinal or final level team. But with those two up front, it's going to be a lot of fun. But the 2 players that I actually really want people to keep an eye on are these 2 right here, Ayla McDowell and Manu Alves. These are 2 players that are in the 2025 recruiting class. Ayla McDowell was a number 15 5-star player, signed with South Carolina, and actually had a really nice performance in the McDonald's All-America game. Manu Alves, 4-star player, rated 94 in this class, going to Illinois, who came off a really solid season this year. They are both getting their first taste of senior level international play. And then to top that off with the guards, you have Catarina Ferreira, who is a really good rotational piece for Oregon State this past year, and Bella Nascimento, for those that are into the fun stories of the NCAA tournament. She was the key piece for William and Mary that got them to win a CAA conference championship, that as a team under 500 made the NCAA tournament, won their opening round matchup in the round of 68, and then ended up as a 16 seed where they played Texas, I believe, in the opening round. But she's got the goods, man. She's a really good player. Ferreira is also a solid player. McDowell and Alves have really good ceilings, and then you have Dantas and Cardoso, who are obviously not new to this. So Brazil, I think, is the one team that can cause problems for Team USA, particularly in the front court, because as good as Reagan Beers, Joyce Edwards, Audie Crooks, the rest of the group are, those are 2 WNBA level centers. And Cardoso in particular is an all-star level WNBA center, all WNBA level center when she is on. And we haven't seen a ton of that this year, but when she is on, there's nobody on that USA roster that is capable of getting her in the front court, which is why, again, I think this backcourt's really going to be a big deal for Team USA here. We'll continue on here because I want to show everybody the Canadian roster. Nell Fortner is the new head coach of the Canadian national team. That was announced after a really bad Olympic crash out for the Canadians. For those that don't know, Nell, former Georgia Tech head coach. She has won everywhere she's been. She was the former head coach of Team USA, won the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, won the 99 FIBA World Cup with Team USA. I think her record was like 110 or something like that. And she coached DeWanna Bonner at Auburn, where they won 30 games and won the SEC regular season. So there is a lot of pedigree with Nell Fortner, and that's why Canada did this. They do not want to mess around with really what is their own golden generation right now. They've got Cassandra Prosper. They've got Silas Swords. Those two were rotational players in the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Yvonne Ejim is on this roster. She was a bench rotational player in the 2024 Olympics this year, but she's probably going to factor in pretty heavily in this tournament. And then you have Savannah Swords, also known as Savvy Swords. It says Long Island Lutheran as her club. She just recently committed, and she is the younger sister of Silas Swords. So a lot of talent there. Sarah Tibiasu is also a former VCU player, I guess, but she plays for Maryland this year. She was a huge part of that Maryland team that almost upset South Carolina in the NCAA tournament this year. Cheyenne Day Wilson's here. She played for LSU this past season. But these are the two players that I'm really interested in, Delaney Gibb and Philippina Che. So Delaney Gibb was a freshman this past year at BYU, and because BYU wasn't great, they were a really under-the-radar team. She was a really under-the-radar player. I think she was a freshman All-American, and she, to me, is one of the more underrated players in college basketball right now. Philippina Che is 6'8", and she came over to Oregon from one of the Scandinavian countries with really not a ton of basketball experience, and every year has gotten incrementally better. It's like one of those stories of like Jason Pierre-Paul in the NFL, how he started playing in high school and then all of a sudden popped up into this, NFL level player. Philly Che's kind of the same, where like the size is there, the talent is there. It's just really the feel for the game isn't, because she just didn't grow up around it. But I think under a different coaching staff in international play, with FIBA rules especially, Philly Che has the opportunity here to become a really, really good international player and a force multiplier for Canada, because Canada, the highest they go, the tallest they run is about 6'4", maybe 6'5". A 6'8" player is a force multiplier, especially when you start to look at Team USA and the French team as well, with Dominique Malonga at 6'6" in the front court, Ileana Rupert, who's about 6'4". So Canada really needs like a size center in the middle, and they're about to get one. So really interested in this Canadian team, how they end up playing. A couple of players to watch, and I'll pull the FIBA site as well for this. This is the Dominican Republic roster. Cesarina Capellan plays for this team Unicaja Mijas in Spain, and 5'10" small forward, 22 years old, hasn't played college ball, but is pretty much the player for the Dominican Republic right now. Like, really solid, great international experience. She's been playing international ball since she was about 17 for the DR. And so if there's a singular player, I don't expect the DR to do much in this tournament as a team, but I am particularly excited to watch her as a player, because I haven't watched her. And I'm really interested to see how good she ends up being. A couple other players that you might want to keep an eye on. It is very likely that Gabriela Jaquez, Jaime Jaquez's younger sister, also a star at UCLA women's basketball, it's very likely she's going to be playing for the Mexican national team in the pre-qualifying tournament for the FIBA World Cup. She had about 22-8 and was the very clear leader for the Mexican national team. So she's going to be somebody to watch. Trinity San Antonio for Puerto Rico is also someone to watch. She was a star for Grand Canyon under Molly Miller this past year, and also went to the 2024 Olympics in Paris with the Puerto Rican national team and was the star there as well. So she's got really, really good international experience. So you can watch the games on the FIBA YouTube page, and all the highlights are there. We're probably going to do like a once a week recap, just to let everyone know where things are at, probably at the end of the group stage, and then once more at the end of the medal rounds. Eurobasket is still going on right now. Some players have already returned into the WNBA, so we'll get into that a little bit on Ball Up Top this week. But for everybody that's watching, folks, this is the kind of stuff, even if you don't watch the games wire to wire, these are the things to keep an eye on, because these are the types of competitions and the fun of watching up and coming women's basketball players that really make one a ball knower. And like I said, if you want to watch some crazy ass backcourt combinations, man, this is the group to do it with. I mean, you could have a rotational combination for Team USA of like Flau'jae, Hannah Hidalgo, Flau'jae, Olivia Miles, Flau'jae, Michaela Blakes, Hannah Hidalgo, Michaela Blakes, Olivia Miles, Michaela Blakes, Kennedy Smith, and Hannah Hidalgo, Gianna Neepkins, and Olivia Miles. I mean, it's a really a set of endless possibilities and a really, really cool thing to keep an eye on in this tournament. So a golden generation for the guards and Team USA is on the way, and it's really great to see the Central and South American countries starting to devote time into women's basketball to pull their own weight as well, because it makes international competition for the United States even better. And it's something that makes things worth watching for us at the international level. So that's all we got for today. Like us, subscribe us, share us, do your thing. Tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe to No Cap Space. We are so close to 4K, and we got some really cool things in the works for those that are in our subscriber base here and on Substack as well. You can also find all our written work on nocapspacewbb.com. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on TikTok. We are everywhere and anywhere that women's basketball is. And so for all of us, that's all the time we got. FIBA Americup starts on Saturday, the 28th, and keep an eye on all of our content. We got some great stuff coming up this week. But for now, we'll see you later.